Today we are going to start our day with date calculations. So we are going to deal with basic date calculations. Clicking on apply. So the first date calculation we are going to see is, let's bring order date into the view. So whenever I bring something into the view, this is automatically converted into header. So when we double click on this, we have some calculation here. So let's first discuss with the direct date calculations. So let me create a calculated field. So here now, to get the same output, I am using the direct function available, which is year of order date. So I'm going to write this as year of order date as well. So this will fetch me the output as integer, and my input field here is the date value. So Tableau should recognize this data type as date, then only we will be able to use the year of order date value, and the output is the integer. This is when I am clicking on apply. So if you see that year of order date has went into the measures part automatically. So Tableau has sorted it out as a measure. So whenever we are dealing with some calculations in date fields, and we have to make sure whether the output is which type of the data type, and second thing, if it's an integer, where is it falling, whether is it a measure or a dimension. So here is a dimension, right? So for that purpose, you can straight away drag like this, or you can let me do Control Z, and or you can directly right click on this and convert to dimension. So this is the two ways wherein you can convert a measure into dimension. And let's bring this into the view. So the difference between the first one and the second one is, the first one was formed automatically based on the hierarchy level. So if you want to have the hierarchy in the view, you can straight away bring the order date into the view and you'll get these options. But if you don't want any plus symbol on your order date, then you can use this year of order date and get the output. So this is the first function which we are learning today, which is year of order date. So like this, we have quarter. So the syntax is same. We are just changing the quarter. So here our quarters output are, let me click on apply here. So we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is also an integer output. So you have to make sure you need to convert them again into the dimension whenever we are working on them. Likewise, we have month. So month will give 1 to 12 months. And same way we have day also. When I'm using day of order date, I will get 30 days or the relevant days in the particular month. So this is how these are the 5 functions which we have, and we also have week. So let me change this to month of the order date, month bar year, so that we can observe the week field here. And discrete. So when I'm using week here, week of order date, I'm going to get the weeks in that month, which is starting with. So yeah, so this is the number of the week from start of the year of that particular year to the end. So it will go around 52 or 53 based on the years. Now let's go to the practical implementation, wherein whenever we are dealing with date calculations, we'll have some scenarios. So before discussing those scenarios, let's take an example wherein I have something as subcategory here and segment here. Let's say I have sales also here. And let me convert this into discrete, or else let's take text so that we won't get ABC here. We're converting this into Fitbit so that we'll get the actual values. And again, I have some of the other dimensions like region, let's say region. So this is how our visualization is. So if I want to perform YTD in this type of visualization in real-time cases, so the user want to create a YTD calculation, or the user want to see year to date. So let's see first what is YTD or year to date. Whenever you have YTD means it's the start of the year. That is, for this current year, it will be 01/01/2023, starting date of the year to current day, which is today. So this is the YTD output wherein we generally will be calculating. So to get this YTD, we need one more function, we have actually two time intelligent functions in Tableau. So they are not dependent on Tableau worksheet or any data. They are dependent on the values which are available in they are based on the Tableau system time. So these are the time intelligence functions which are independent of Tableau. So today we'll get the date of today. So let's bring this into the rows. So it will get the day of the today. So now we'll give date and time of today. Yeah. So this has fetched exactly the time of today, which we are currently in. So these two are the time intelligence functions, irrespective of the data in the view or data which is available in the view or in Tableau. So using these two time intelligence functions, let's create a YTD calculation. So for that, let's bring order date into the view. So first, let's create a Boolean calculation and then we'll go with the measure output or date output. We have different use cases for each type of calculation. So first go with YTD Boolean. So here we have in our requirements, let's as in the title we have a requirement wherein our starting day is 01/01/2023 and we have to get until today. So for that purpose, let's convert this into month bar year, or exact date would be great, and discrete. So first thing I need to get is the year part, because I need to tally the year part. So we have a direct function wherein we have year of order date is equal to year of today. So we can take this as year of order date is equal to year of today, because we want the date starting with respect to today. In date calculations, it is always necessary to understand with respect to which field we are calculating YTD. Sometimes we may be using parameter instead of today. or sometimes we may be using max date instead of today. Max date means max date available in the data. So in our current data, we have future dates also which haven't got completed. But in some of the databases, let's say whenever you are working on real-time databases, your data is getting refreshed at every 15 days. So until 30th of this current month, it is available only up to the 15/10/2023. In that case, we will be taking the max date. So that also we'll see in the coming days. So let's say first apply this and YTD Boolean. So I'm bringing this here. So I got true for the entire year. So let me put this Boolean in the filter so that we'll get the values only which are true. So when I'm putting this in the filter, I got all the dates in the entire year. So I already got my output, half of the output, wherein I got starting from first of this year to entire year. So now only thing which I have to do is I have to restrict my data or date field until today. So I'm putting an AND operator here, which is a conjunction operator, and I am applying order date less than or equal to today. So what I am saying is this order date, whatever the order date which is on the left side, should be either less than or equal to today. So let's click on apply now. And now we got the exactly our YTD calculation, which is starting from 1/1/2023 to the current day, which is today. So this is the YTD calculation which we have just calculated. But this is a Boolean output calculation. That means we will be able to use this in the filter, irrespective of anything in the data which is in the view, either in the column shelf or row shelf, or anything which is available, which is defining the level of detail of the data, can be filtered using this Boolean condition. Let's say in the previous case, we had so this was the scenario, and now we had a requirement to get the YTD for this calculation, which is rows and columns. And let's keep some order date also in the view in the column so that we'll have something like this. Okay, so this is a real-time scenario wherein we have some of the dimensions in rows and some measure in the view and year of order date. Generally, what we will be doing if we want YTD, we will be writing a calculation which we have written here and we will be putting. And I'm going to apply true here. Click on this, and then I'm going to get only this particular YTD when there is a requirement to get only YTD. But many of the people will do like this, but it's not the actual way. That's why I've taken this example. So if we want YTD, we also have the same option in direct order date. Whenever we bring order date into the view in filters, we have relative dates. And here, if I am selecting years, I have year to date option straight away. So whenever you have a scenario like this, which you are viewing currently, wherein you have subcategory wise, segment wise region, and instead of in the year of order date, let's take instead of year. Okay, let me apply this first. Instead of year, I am replacing this year with region. Okay, so now I'm going to edit my filter, and I already have year of order date here. So whenever you have a scenario like this, you need not write calculations first. First, try to get the results of the output whenever you are using with calculation. Instead of using calculations, whether we can deliver the same output either with filters or with sets, groups or bins, then only, if these are not possible, then only go with calculations, because calculations will have impact and processing time. So that's why, because each calculation has to go for every row of the view. So this is the simple shortcut way if you want only YTD in this scenario. Okay, so let's say we'll take another scenario. We got current year YTD. Let's say we have another scenario wherein we are building KPI, which is a sales KPI. Maybe take sales KPI, or we can say total sales. So we have decided we want a YTD total sales. So then also we can take, let's bring sales value here. Sales value here. And if I want YTD sales in my KPI value in my dashboard, let's say I'm planning my KPIs, all the KPIs on the top, wherein I want my all the KPIs as YTD. Then I can take straight away order date and bring into the filter and same select the relative dates, because my fields are not changing. So that's why I am straight away using years option in this relative dates, and I'm straight away selecting year of date. So this is how you will be using if your sales, total sales value is only having the requirement to display YTD only. But in real time cases, in some of the cases, not all the cases, but in some of the cases, user requests to have, I want a parameter wherein I can select YTD, or I can select MTD or WTD or current day also data. So if that is the case, then only we need to go with these type of calculations which we are just discussing now, which are date calculation, because the user is having different level of period of requirement to select in the data. So then we will be able to, we should use this type of calculations. And there will be some more scenarios where when we have requirements like the first requirement, wherein we have current year YTD in this row. User requirement is to give current year YTD in this row, and just write to it they want previous year YTD. So then in that cases, generally we need to write the calculations, because we cannot build the same YTD here and to the right side immediate previous year YTD in the calculations directly. So that's why we need to give the calculations. Okay, before going to them, QTD, as we have just created only Boolean YTD calculation here. Let me duplicate this calculation, and I'm going to edit this calculation, and just I'm going putting, let me maximize this and clicking on enter, and I'm saying if. So as our previous calculation was straight away Boolean, if condition is always followed by a Boolean condition, so it is going to check something, and then I'm going to get the sales. And so this is YTD sales, which is a measure value. So if I'm clicking on this, we are going to get the same value. So in this case, I can write sales here to get straight away YTD sales into the view. We did not get values because our YTD sales gets the value only when we have this year, current year. So in this view, actually we should have got YTD sales, which is a sum of entire series. But as we have duplicated our YTD Boolean, it was now in the dimension level. That's why we are able to get the discrete values which are present in that particular day. These are the sales value of that current year, which are discrete values like individual transactions. These are individual transactions. So for that purpose, let me convert that into measure and now bring into the view. So if you are getting like that, you need to understand that instead of writing a new calculation, you have just duplicated an existing calculation which was dimension. So that's why it has, even though I have converted my dimension calculation output to measure, but it was still again in the dimension level, and I was able to get the discrete values in the view. So whenever you are getting the same issue, you need to convert that into measure and then you will get the exact output. Okay. So this is one thing. And the second thing is, let me create another sheet so that we can compare this YTD with another calculation. So let's say I have order date here, which was in the rows. Okay, instead of this, yeah. And I'm converted this into, it's already in exact date. So I have sales here. Now we are going to like check another type of thing, which is directly creating the header, which is order date itself in the YTD. So for that purpose, let's take our YTD previous Boolean. As it is a dimension, I'm going to duplicate this and edit this calculation. So I'm going to get only date fields which are going to fetch the output. So here I have given if condition again, and we already have the Boolean condition. So I have straight away, I'm writing then order date and end. So like this, we can put measure output of it, or we can get the date field also as an output. So let's see, apply this, and we are going to say YTD date. And let me bring the YTD date into the view. So it is null for all the remaining dates and got the value for the rest of the fields in the view. So if I'm removing this and doing this as exact date, I am going to get the values which are only available in the this field. Only the values which are available in the YTD date fields, we are going to get the same value. Now let's look at another example of MTD calculation. So now I am taking order date here. And let's convert this into quarter bar year discrete. Okay, so let's create a Boolean calculation and let's take sales here. So I'm going to give only Boolean calculation for this output, as we have discussed the same in the previous calculations. So I'm going to name as QTD Boolean. So here our output should starting from the current day first date. So current quarter first date. So this current quarter, currently we are in third quarter, right? December, no, fourth quarter. We are in fourth quarter, no, October, November, December. So our output will be 01, 10, 2023 to current day. That is today. So for that purpose, let's see what happens whenever I am writing quarter of order date is equal to quarter of today. Let's check this first. Let me increase the size. So I have written quarter of order date is equal to quarter of today. So whenever we are writing calculation, we already know that our calculation is going for each row in the view. So let me bring this output here and check. So whenever you are checking here, the first line which you have written is getting true for all the quarter 4 which is available in every year, but our requirement is to get only current year. So that is the purpose which I am for which I am showing this example. So but we need only current year, right? So for that purpose we need to write the year of order date is equal to year of today. So we are going to combine this both calculations using AND operation. So let's apply this again. Now, if I'm applying this and bringing the same into the view, now I am able to get true only for current quarter, not for the rest of the quarters. So that's why we need to write this one. So whenever we are writing the calculation, we need to know like why this line, what is this line doing, what is this line checking, and what is this line doing. So we need to have clear clarity and then write the additional lines if required, if and only if required. Otherwise, we need not have the calculations extra line. So now let me convert this into exact date because okay, it's already converted. So now I want only the values in the current quarter, right? So for that purpose, we are going to say order date less than or equal to today. Because I don't want true for all the values in November month and December month also. In the current quarter, I want starting from the current quarter to the current day only. So that was my requirement. So that is why I have written this third line. So let me bring this entire calculation into the rows and then check. Now, after today, everything was false and before 1st of October is also false. So this gives our QTD Boolean calculation. Let me apply this and bring this directly into view. If I am selecting true and apply, I am going to get the values which are only available in the current quarter until today. So this is how we will be writing QTD calculations, MTD calculations, and WTD calculations. So you are going to practice WTD and week to day calculation using these functions, and all the three types of Boolean, date, and sales output functions also today, and then we'll go with the next remaining functions in Tableau. And let me know if you have any doubts on Tableau in the comment section below. Until next video, happy visualizing.